Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally free from the content wasteland here on League Unlock. Eric and Mark, because Worlds 2019, it's finally started, Mark. It's here. There's no song, but it's here.
No song. You're still going to have to wait for that one. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for that one. Is it going to be
2020?
Is it going to be until 2020? Is it going to be until we have enough RP collected collectively as a group here that we can finally pay off this bounty here to Riot to get this World song? I don't know. But at least all I do know is that Worlds is here. We've got games to talk about. We've got highlights. Let's get right into them.
Yeah, groups A and B kicking things off. And what better way to start than Clutch against the Unicorns of Love, the two favorites in Group A, obviously. Pool 1 seed Clutch, the bigger favorites, but most people expecting both of these guys to get out of groups. And coming into this one, it was a bit of a question mark what we're actually going to see when it comes to the meta, because we haven't seen a lot of people play in a long time. And of course, you got to go with Heimerdinger bot, the Tristana mid, and Jungle Echo.
That is certainly something that we've seen come through a little bit here in the past couple of patches as we've been waiting for these live games to go on here, and it is that Jungle Echo early on getting that advantage, but oh boy, that is Huni taking a bit too much damage, and of course, Unicorns of Love there to take advantage, and man, they're there to take advantage even further to punish that Echo.
Yeah, it ends up being a 2-for-1. Little bit too deep of a dive, but
wait a minute.
Clutch is just waiting until they get Rift Herald for the power spike.
That's a straight up int, man. That is 100% a question mark ping. You throw that one down.
That is the Edward special. We've seen a lot of that out of him on Gambit and Unicorns of Love. We thought Huni versus Boss would be the biggest mismatch in this game, but Boss is turning around 1v2 ganks, getting a kill, and a trade kill at that, and then it's the Heimer flashing in for the Rockets. Again, a 2-for-1 dive that goes to favor of UOL.
I gotta give UOL a quick shout out here to the Area 51 Heimerdinger skin. They're rocking there, getting in with that raid on Area 51 that just went down there. And hey, they're raiding into this dragon pit, and they're taking down the members of Clutch Gaming left, right, and center, and they're going to take the Drake for themselves. Feeling good with that power.
Yeah, and we don't have the audio there, but there was a Unicorn of Love fan in the crowd that was very vocal whenever a fight was going their way as Huni traverses on an epic journey, and oh no, Mark, this looks like Spring Split Huni.
This looks a lot like some of the nightmares that you might have been having thinking about Clutch. These are some of your worst nightmares as a North American fan, thinking that you wanted to see Clutch, you wanted to see that exciting style of play, but instead you're seeing a bit of sloppiness here. You're seeing some overextending of some plays, and this is not what you wanted here. But Cody's son, giving you what you wanted here, holding off the base as much as he can for Clutch Gaming.
Yeah, and holding off the base is pretty much all he could do.
Can't hold it anymore.
Again. He can't do it anymore. Heimerdinger strikes again. Unicorns of Love, big upset in the very first game of the 2019 World Championship. They came in with a game plan, executed it perfectly, and that early game, Ananasek completely obliterated Lyra with that Jungle Echo.
Yeah, the Jungle Echo was not exactly the pick that I thought Lyra looked very comfortable on. Certainly looked a lot different than the Skarner type of situation that we had been seeing him playing through the NA gauntlet. But I think when you're looking at this game as a Clutch Gaming North American fan, you got to be thinking about this one kind of lightly, yet still obviously a little bit concerned because you're dropping a game here to someone that's going to be competitive in your group. But this one for me, for Clutch, looked like a lot of nerves, a lot of things here getting to this world stage, not being quite as prepared here as Sheepy had his team. Unicorns of Love looked really ready for this match.
It's only one game, but you only play 4, so 25% of them are done, and you lost. We go on to the second game of the day, which was Group B action. Splice against DFM from Japan, and Detonation Focus Me looking to follow the upset trend against the Pool 1 seed, and I think a lot of people were actually more confident in Clutch than Splice. Coming into this one, you thought you had spicy picks in that first game. Well, we got something here, Mark. You know,
oh boy,
our boy Vedius from the LEC, he really enjoys playing the Nocturne mid in his own personal adventures. I never thought I'd see it in pro play.
Hey, let alone at Worlds. I didn't think that we'd be getting to see the Vedius
special.
There he goes! But we see it, and hey, works off at the first time here.
Doesn't work off because the Hecarim barely survives, and then DFM ends up having to dive a turret, and oh no, the rest of Splice is there. Udapon can never really get into this fight. Humanoid shows up with the Realm Warp, and Kabe says, Feed me kills.
See, when I said it worked, Eric, I was talking about cutting this clip quite a little bit earlier here, because then you can only show it working. And that's where the real gold is here. But the real gold actually, well, it's all in Kabe's pocket here, and he's going to be putting that to some pretty darn good use here in this game.
Yeah, he starts 2-0 on that Xayah, but the Nocturne does work on this gank here, and again, it is a jungle echo. This time it's Steel who grabs the kill combined with the Nocturne, but that was the only positive for a while here for DFM, as Splyce was getting a huge gold lead, 11-3. They win a fight there. A huge deficit for the LJL squad, but they almost find the perfect fight with the Gnar pullback by Eevee. It looks great, but Kabe survives the entire fight.
Kabe survives the entire fight, and then talk about Chachi in the top lane. That cannon comes through, slicing through.
Yeah, that looked like TFT, the amount of damage he was doing on the kill.
That was insane amount of damage there coming through from the top side. And yes, of course, Kabe, of course, always there with that tremendous damage there for Splyce.
And I don't really know what that feeble attempt at a contest was on the Baron. Splyce, huge gold lead. They grab the Baron. Face checks come in. It doesn't matter. One buff and you're done. They 22-7 in kills for this one. Kabe finishes 11-0-5 in his debut at Worlds 2019.
That's exactly what you want to see. And hey, that's what you want to see if you're a Splyce fan, big time, because you got
no upset here.
No upset here, which of course is what you want to avoid after having seen Clutch Gaming drop a game to the Unicorns of Love. But big time performance here from your star bottom lane carry in Kabe. And of course here, again, some good performances here by the rest of your squad. But I think I want to really talk about here, the tempo was a little bit faster here. This was not 35 game minute Splyce here. This was a lot better.
Yeah, as soon as they had that lead, they were closing out cleanly and quickly. Clearly just kind of outmatched DFM in pretty much every position. Coming up after the break, there are still plenty of games to go through, and we got the OPL and the Latin American scene both making their Worlds debut. Hello, you beauties, and welcome back to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with y'all as we go through day one action of Worlds. It's finally here. Can't get more excited because there's just so many great games and some more teams making their debuts at the World Championship, starting with the OPL's Mammoth going up against UOL. And coming into this group, most people, including us, kind of predicted the OPL. It's a tough draw. They will be hard-pressed to get a win against UOL or Clutch.
We were expecting to see the more established, a little bit more polished version of Clutch Gaming that we had seen throughout the NA Gauntlet.
Didn't see that.
Certainly didn't see that, and we thought that, yes, we're going to have the Unicorns of Love be one of these contenders here in this Group A, and we certainly saw that in Game 1. Now it's time to see whether we were right or wrong about Mammoth throwing the OPL's dog into the fight.
Yeah, and you know how good it can feel to start 2-0 in these group stages. Exactly what the Unicorns were looking to do against that Mammoth squad from the OPL, or as Twitch chat will spam in every single game that they are at in this tournament. And the theme of Jungle Echo continues. Now 0-2 coming into this one, but in Nanosec, we saw how good he was against Lyra and Clutch in that Game 1. And early on here, Triple got the Syndra, which was banned a couple of times in the first 2 games, and he was getting some kills early on.
Oh, and that is not something you want to be hearing if you're on the other side of this one, because I tell you what, a Syndra picking up some kills, that is going to be a problem for you in the mid game, in the late game, any game you're playing, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, he started 5-1, and then you also had King on that Tristana here. Watch him in this fight. Positioning is great. This fight looks fantastic for Mammoth. A couple of kills their way. Oh, one more on the Renekton. Beautiful, boys. Let's reset. Go grab Baron. Oh, King. Okay. He's flashing in to grab another kill, and he's dead. All right. Baron, now off the table.
Yeah, that one's it. You got to just take your reset there and go away getting a little bit too hungry.
Luckily, the AD carry syndrome doesn't cost them too much. They would still have full control over Baron and just grab it a little bit later on. And then this time, King has his entire team backing him up when he jumps in. And it works out a whole lot better. The Echo ulti does absolutely nothing for the 3rd game in a row, really, that we've seen that happen.
At least Echo got to ult there. That was the Corki there. Insta-grab there, didn't even have a chance to use the package. Now we
Looked
got
like they were
Mammoth,
going to end it.
Mammoth right here on the Nexus turrets here, trying to take it down, getting that damage out from King here, looking to do it. But oh boy, that's the team coming up there. Please make the smart decision. Yes, they do. Mammoth going away here to Baron on the bait, and they get the teleport coming through. Can't cancel that one. It's going to be Mammoth here with the excellent 200 IQ bait.
Yeah, Boss had an excellent base defense, and then the TP, he gets absolutely jebaited. He doesn't die. He's actually the last member.
He's as good as dead at this point.
He just runs away the entire fight, and I mean, Inax is just going to run away. It's a 4-triple to close this one out. Boss's heroic base defense is not enough, and all of a sudden, Clutch is dead last in the group because Mammoth and Unicorns both sitting now at 1-1. The OPL already showing up at Worlds here.
All right, here's your cringe warning, guys. Get ready for it right here. This was a Mammoth opportunity missed from the Unicorns of Love.
That's all you get. No more Mammoth puns or jokes about it, you know? That's the quota. It's just one.
One a day. One a day or one for the whole play-ins? Because that's going to be a different story
We'll
here.
give one a day, but it has to be a different one.
Okay. Yeah. I'll work on that one for there. But yes, Mammoth taken down, Unicorns of Love here. This was a big opportunity for them to get that 2-0 in the group here. Again, having that 1-0 advantage already over the favorites in Clutch Gaming here. But Mammoth come through. Big time performance. They look strong throughout most parts of the game here. And again, that 200 IQ bait at the Baron here. They hit a ward there to get in the vision. Let them know we're doing it here. But that's exactly why you wanted them to know it here. Bring in that TP and we're all going to get in you.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the 200 IQ plan or a misclick. We'll say it was a genius play by the OPL. Despite a throw here or there, they come away with the win to move to 1-0. Later, it was Isurus' turn to make their debut at Worlds, going up against DFM after they lost to Splice earlier in the day. And Isurus is another team that people, I know, had some expectations and hoped that they could finish top 2, maybe even give Splice a run for their money to finish number 1. Obviously, Seiya and Audi, kind of the OG members of this crew. And you remember, 0-3 for Jungle Echo coming into this one. Let's run it back again in this game. Yet again, trying to look for that first win on it. This time it is Steel of DFM, and that is a Kale in the top lane for Eevee. Actually a pick that he has played quite a bit, but the Jungle Echo, Mark, this play.
Oh boy.
So he dashes over. Ezreal ulti's coming. Okay, press every button on your keyboard.
Yeah, perfect. This is exactly what you want. Now you're just waiting for that E cooldown, man. Just waiting on the E cooldown
But
again.
I just used it. Oh.
See,
I guess I'll die.
In all chat, you're just pinging 3 seconds down on that cooldown. Just still waiting. Still waiting.
Well, you know, you either ulti or you flash. You don't press both. But he ends up doing just that. But check out Zeros here on the Karma. Look at the fancy feet. 1, 2, 3, and another.
Lord.
Oh my God!
Nice. Oh, Seiya.
He misses them all. The Gragas cask doesn't even take him down. Never will you ever see a better play on a Karma mid lane than what Zeros just put on right there.
And I promise you that Seiya is an incredibly talented mid laner, let alone an incredibly talented Ryze player there. That was a lot of missed shots there coming through from that Ryze. But of course, fancy feet from Zeros to stay alive. And man, those fancy feet, they work out early here, helping them get some kills.
And there were a lot of kills to hand out here as Seiya does land the Qs there to take down the Echo. He would eventually get chased down, and it would be a fight heavily in the favor of DFM. Now 11-7. These fights were all over the place, Mark, and this game was very much a play-in stage for a world championship. But check out War Angelus here on the Ezreal, because he goes untouched with that double life steal build, and he decides 4 members. Hold up, guys. Let me flash on the Ezreal into 3 of them. He's got so much lifesteal. Most of the damage is done on Detonation Focus Me, and they are just left to run. They eventually would get chased down. It'd be an ace for them, and they are right back in the game with a Baron buff, and here comes Isurus.
That is going to be pretty much all it was here for DFM, because this is the Isurus squad looking to end things here, putting through that damage here, and pushing on towards the Nexus turret.
Stacking up a few more kills. War Angelus gets the stylish TP play at the Nexus to close it out. DFM fall to 0-2. Isurus win their very first game to keep pace with Splice, who they do play later in the day. And that game was probably the worst that we've seen so far today.
That was the most play-ins type of game here that we had seen so far today. And I think when you're really looking at this one, you have to be thinking to yourself, Detonation Focus Me certainly are not a bad team in any type of regards here. But when you're looking at what you've got here with Isers and how Splice are playing right now, it just seems that they're not going to be able to reach the level. They're going to have to be here, at least so far from what we've seen in day one, for the rest of this group stage.
Yeah, they'll definitely need to step it up against the third seed from EU, and Syros at least definitely had the best highlight from that play, so DFM has something to take from it. Coming up after the break, 2 more games to go, and they are definitely the most important of the day. Can Mammoth and Isurus complete an insanely upset-filled day? Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned to League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. 2 more games to go through from day 1 action, and they're actually incredibly important because Clutch Gaming is looking to avoid going 0-2. Something you probably wouldn't have expected to say at the start of the day. And also, Mammoth are looking to go 2-0, just as we predicted.
Nah. I don't know which one would be less likely here to happen at the beginning of the day. I think a couple people would certainly be on the side of saying, hey, I can see NA failing day 1 at Worlds, but there's certainly
OPL being the one.
I was gonna say, I don't think there'd be a lot of people here raising their koalas and saying OPL is gonna be the top dogs after day 1.
Yeah, the koalas are right at the top right now, and of course the theme to look at heading into the 5th game of action is Jungle Echo, 0-4 up until this point, and we're just trying to not have that on the Rift because apparently it is a guaranteed loss, and you know that when games matter the most, Hooney says, give me an 80 carry. Let's get it.
Yeah, but it's not the Lucian, though. This time it is the Tristana still going up top, and, well, I don't know how much Hooney has learned here because you watch this one, and yes, Mammoth does get the recall off, but they're still going in for this one, and, oh, man, you missed the cocoon, you missed a couple of other things, and...
Okay. Got him, though.
You got him. You got him, but that's certainly not the trade that you want to be making here initially.
Yes, 17-year-old Fudge in the top lane with nerves of steel turning that gank around. But this was a very slow-paced game, much slower than we're used to Clutch playing. They completely destroyed turret plates early on. They had a 6,000 gold lead in 2-1 to kills. It wasn't through kills. Hooney and that mid lane for Demonte was just stomping. They catch 2 people out. They grab a Baron. The vision control was insane by them as well.
I think this is what you wanted to see, especially from Clutch, in a response here to how they played against the Unicorns of Love. Yes, this was not as exciting as some of the Clutch Gaming wins can be in their compositions that they can play and the way they push it. Oh boy. Hold on.
They had control of the game. No one's around the Baron pit. Let's run this back. How much health does this get to, Mark? How much health does this Baron go to? It goes down to 1 health. 1 HP. And the Kaisa W comes in. Oh no, Dignitas is fully here.
That's the big problem. Clutch Gaming, they didn't knock on the table and say, Uno. That's it.
Well, they rebranded to Dignitas a little bit too early. Luckily for them, they didn't instantly lose the game after that. That just proves how far ahead they were. And you even heard in the comms, when they lost that Baron, I think it was Cody-san who said, it doesn't even matter, really. And as it turns out, it didn't, because Hooney, Demonte, and Cody were all incredibly farmed. And when you have a Tristana and Sivir in the late game, you're pretty terrifying. Triple does get the catch out on Demonte, but boys, the base.
The base, yeah.
The base.
That's absolutely one as Demonte that you're just kind of like, yeah, sure, take me out of this game, take me out of here, put me into the gray screen, no problem here, because that screen won't be lasting long because it's soon going to be replaced with your Nexus blowing up screen. The best screen to see if you're a Clutch Gaming fan, picking up the win here to equal things out in Group A. And yes, as I was saying before, a very perfect Baron steal coming through. Only complete skill to take that Baron, of course, here. But as I was saying, if you're a Clutch Gaming fan, there was a lot in this game that will make you feel better about your team today. At least there are still some negatives here to wash away. This one will help you here with a much more polished play away from that Baron play.
Yeah, and Demonte after the game basically said, we saw these teams are playing scaling comps a lot, so we did that because when it comes to after 30 minutes, scaling teams, the better team will always win. And with 2 AD carries, Clutch did just that, although they also dominated the early game, again, with plating.
Yeah, and that's, I think, again, where you find a lot of the confidence here if you're a Clutch Gaming fan, a lot of the performances here by the players that you want to be having. You have these big performances for your squad. Dumonte, Hooney, you're seeing them a lot show up here early.
And just like that, Group A, everybody tied at 1-1, which means the second day of action for them is going to be oh so very spicy. But we got one more game to go through from day one, and it is the battle for first place in Group B. Splyce and Isurus both took down DFM to sit 1-0 on the table here in Group B. Obviously, Splyce looked a whole lot better in their win than Isurus did, but we know mid lane matchup going to be a big one coming into this one. Unfortunately for Isurus for this one, they did the ultimate cop-out, Mark. The Lissandra mid with Aftershock. That just screams, I'm scared.
That's disrespect, for me. That's the disrespect to the fans that are watching Worlds here at this point in time. Don't give us that Lissandra mid lane. Come on.
And early on, it was Bugax on the gangplank against Chachi.
Whoa.
Well, that's going to be first blood early on. He's got a full wave of minions. He doesn't care. But here comes Xerxes to clean him up.
Xerxes,
Right.
hey, this is the important part here. Got to be there.
miss.
Oh, that's not what you wanted. Okay, we're really going for this one, boys.
Dodge the Q? He dodges the Q. Can he dodge it? Okay, but the flag.
Oh.
You got to dodge both. He could not dodge both. Audi was on the least in this game, by the way, but the early game did not go so well for him. He missed a few Qs early on, and Humanoid, against that Aftershock Lissandra, had absolute lane control. He roams to the Dragon to grab a kill. He says, Gangplank, all right, free. Let's go grab another one. Gangplank's going to flash for really no reason, because LeBlanc has 2 dashes.
Big problem here is that, yes, you've got a Lissandra that's holding her own in the lane and holding okay. But the problem has been that LeBlanc's been free farming and free roaming here a lot of the time. Combined with the other stuff going on with Splyce here, that is going to lead to some yikes moments in the bottom side here for Isurus.
Yeah, 5-1 for Splyce, and you saw no turret plates for Isurus. But Splyce gets a little too excited. They split up Humanoid and Kabe, the 2 members you do not want getting caught anywhere. They do just that. 2 kills over to Isurus. Oh, they're back in the game. We go to the Baron Pit. And Mark, what do you do against a Mega Gnaring Gnar?
Oh, that's just...
Bunch up against the wall.
Yeah, I need to be right by the most solid object possible here on the Rift. That is exactly where you want to be when any champion can throw you into it for a massive stun.
Now, Isurus was behind huge and gold. They had to go for that play. You might say, what else do they do? Spread out in the Baron Pit. There's not much room. It's a little bit difficult to do that, but they end up not getting the Baron. A bunch of them die. Splyce grabs the Baron for free, and yeah, that is a big old gold lead. Kabe was incredibly fed, and even though Vizichachi got first blooded, he bounced back in a huge way in this game.
Kabe taking advantage of the Xayah Rakan pairing big time in this one. Yeah, again here with the Splyce squad. And of course, yeah, that's a tough one there in that Baron Pit. Not sure what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you what the right answer is not what you did there in that situation. Of course, it's hard to make that call in the moment. But man, that is a yikes situation. That could have been your big ticket here back into this game here, which would have been a monster win for this squad. Yet it does come up all Splyce here and for them. And hey, Kabe again, big performance here for the EU squad.
Yeah, and now you have a lot of confidence in Splyce. They're sitting pretty 2-0 in Group B. Isurus behind at 1-1. DFM is 0-2. And Group A, oh me, oh my, everybody's sitting there at 1-1. Can't wait for that action to get underway again. But tomorrow, it's Group C and D. That's it today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark will catch you guys then.